All right, recording. I am Jen Schwartz. Welcome to our Zoom call about the Healy, why a frequency device. I am an emotion code, body code practitioner. I do a lot of different energy healing modalities. I want to start off by saying that the Healy does not cure, treat, or heal any specific condition. I'll let Alicia, I'm going to let you handle all the science stuff. I was going to go into a little bit of frequency, but I think you'll probably handle that in your talk. We're going to be covering a little bit of the science behind Healy, what it's done for us, and different people on the call. If you have your Healy and you have a story you want to share, be prepared because we would love to hear it. The reason that I am on this journey is because I have had my kids have had some significant health issues that started with food allergies and lots of them, all three of my kids. And when my daughter, my middle daughter, turned, she was 12 and a half, she started suddenly having allergic reactions to all but 7 foods. And this was like out of the blue. And we didn't know what was wrong. We were on a search. We couldn't figure it out. We went high and low. We were at, Mount Sinai, New York. We traveled to try and figure out what was going on with her. We tried so many things. And ultimately, we were led, there's a lot to this story, but we were led to a doctor who used a frequency machine to encode water. And I thought the whole thing was crazy when we went. But he used this frequency machine to encode these remedies, and it was to address underlying infections that she had going on in her body. And within 3 weeks of starting this remedy, she gained back almost all of her food. And it was extraordinary. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. So I had also had a personal experience with the frequency machine and some of my allergies. There's more to that as well. But I started seeing Healy come up in the emotion code, body code groups, which is a healing modality that some of you may be aware of and most maybe not. But I was, it started coming up in the groups, and I saw that it was a frequency device that was personal. You didn't have to go see a practitioner in order to get the benefits or be treated for it with it. And at first, I don't know, I don't want to offend anybody here who may be involved in a multi-level marketing company. Now I appreciate them, but at the time I was pretty skeptical. I just could tell it was being sold as a network marketing product, so I just kind of dismissed it. And it kept coming up, and I thought, you know what? I know there are great products sold by multi-level marketing structures, network marketing. So, and I know frequency is so powerful from the experience that we had with our daughter. So I said, you know, I'm going to buy one. I'm just going to see. And I had struggled for over 15 years with horrible sleep problems. I slept 3 to 4 hours a night. I literally, it was like, am I ever going to get over this? Like, am I ever going to actually sleep? I mean, how many of you have sleep issues? Are we, okay. So I didn't want to accept it, but it was like, I guess this is my life because it's just what it is. 3 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning, I was just up for the day. Sometimes I'd fall back asleep, but it would take like 2.5 hours for that to happen. So I started using the Healy. And there's some things you do initially to get your Healy. They're called gold programs. Here, I'm just going to mute this. And then I started using the sleep programs. And literally, I say it's maybe a week, but I think it was less. But it was no more than a week after starting the sleep programs. And everybody's different, so I can't say, oh, for you, this is what's going to happen. But literally, in less than a week, I was sleeping through the night and I was remembering my dreams. I hadn't remembered a dream in like a decade. I mean, literally. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. So it was in that moment, I'm like, okay, well, now I see why so many people are selling this device because look at what happened. So that's how I'm here, selling this device. It was easy for me to understand the frequency idea because of my experience in what I do now with emotion code, what I had experience with frequency machines. That part wasn't the hard sell for me. For me, it was, would this actually help individuals who are just sending frequencies to themselves with this, with an app on a phone? The answer is yes. So the stories that I was reading, I've read everyone with a lot of healthy skepticism. I was open. But now, I started selling the Healy several months back, and now I know people who have had success stories. So it's not just like I'm a random person to most of you. So it's not somebody but now I have people that I know, that I care about, who are getting results, and it's extraordinary. So that's my Healy story. There's so much to say, but I'm trying to keep it short and let other people share as well. Who wants to go next? Karen, you can unmute yourself, please. Thank
you. Hey, so hi everyone, I'm Karen. I've been in the wellness field for 20 years. I'm a kinesiologist. And I was a believer in energy work because we had used different modalities on my kids and on myself. I actually sent Jen to the chiropractor who did like the energy frequency. So I was a huge believer in all of that. So it didn't take me a long time to actually know that this machine would work. But I did experience it, and I have so many multiple stories I could tell you. The first one being, I was at Kelly's house, who's on the call right now. And I had a headache, and she's like, let's hook you up to the Healy. And I put my thumb on the thing, and migraine comes up. And there's like so many things that could come up. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, how does it know I have a headache? And it was like my number one, it was the highest percentage. So she's like, let's treat you. Treated me. My headache was gone within an hour. The two craziest stories I can tell you that just happened. So sleep has gotten better. There's like lots of like those typical things that have happened that we all a lot of us struggle with. But the latest was, so my husband has had issues where he gets like hyponatremic, where if he sweats too much, he actually has low salt levels. And he's had this tested, and he's ended up in the ER a couple times. It's very scary. Like his hands get stiff, and it's really bad. So yesterday it was like 95 here in Phoenix, and he was outside working, and sometimes he just neglects to drink enough water. And like what happens is I can start hearing his voice gets really hoarse, and I start seeing this salt like on his skin. It starts getting really white, and I'm like, Russ, like you've already did you eat, did you drink? Like it doesn't come inside, because I freak out because it's so scary when this happens to him. So I'm like, oh my God, there's, what's it called? Something salts. There's like a salt.
I think it's pronounced Schussler salts.
Schussler. Okay.
Actually, another word for them is cell salts.
Okay. So there's a salt frequency where you actually you can send the frequencies of salts. So I'm like, I'm hooking you up to the Healy. We're going to send you the salt frequencies. And like, literally this was yesterday. And within an hour, his hoarse voice went away. He was peeing clear. Like it was ridiculous. He has never, this is like a long-standing problem with him. He's like, it was the craziest thing, because when his voice will get hoarse from this, it will last the whole day. So that is a crazy story we just had yesterday, which oh my God, like this could change his world. Like he's a past Ironman, and he just stopped doing hard workouts because like it's scary, and he doesn't know when his salt levels will go down. So that could be huge for his life, like lifestyle. Do you want me to share another crazy story?
Yeah. Okay. And you have several actually.
Yeah. So the other thing, I'm glad we're all women on here, but it's all good. I was noticing like the last 6 months, my periods were every 3 weeks. Like I was getting my period, and I'm 44, and people were like, you're going through perimenopause, and they were kind of getting not great. And so recently when I was starting to treat myself, menopause kept coming up. It wasn't like my top thing, but I would like vibrate. Jen will explain what this means, but I would vibrate the frequencies. And so I was doing that for maybe like 2 weeks. So this month I went back to my 4-week cycle. My period's normal. And there's no way it wasn't just, it had to have been the Healy, because it was like literally 5 or 6 months where it was coming every 3 weeks. And I was like, this sucks. Like, this is terrible. So that I just know it has to be the Healy, like nothing else has changed. And menopause was coming up for me. So I have like normal stories too, but those ones are like my latest. And so it's so cool. Like, it's such a life changing thing, this
So
Healy.
I love that. Thank you. And I kind of I know Alicia's going to get into a little bit of the science, but the whole idea behind the Healy, we are all energy. That is what we are. If you were to magnify our bodies all the way down, it would be pure energy. Okay. And what happens is our bodies get imbalanced. They do. I mean, look at look at life. I mean, we get imbalanced. And when we're imbalanced, that's when we end up with illness and disease and pain. And the Healy is supporting bringing our bodies back into balance, okay, energetically back into balance. And when we say it's not curing or treating or healing, it's because it's not about that. It's about allowing our immune system to do what it's supposed to do, to heal. Okay, because I mean, you cut yourself and then 3 days later the cut's gone, right? Well, how is that? That's what our body does. But when we have all this stuff going on, it's really hard to be balanced enough for it to address the things properly. So those are great stories. Thank you, Karen. Is there anybody else who wants to share? Lisa, do you want to share some things? Lisa's
Sure.
got a book in the works.
I have a lot of testimonials because I am kind of an early adopter on things like this, and I've been working in the wellness industry for about 20 years. So when I see a new tool, I jump in really fast. And I didn't know Jen at all when I bought the Healy from her. I saw her post in one of the emotion code groups, and I had seen things about the Healy several times, but I didn't pay attention to what it was. So when I finally paid attention to what it was, because she had a well-written post, I contacted her and asked her about it. So she did a demo for me and I bought it. And that was about, I think, 5 weeks ago, something like that. And so I just started using it on myself and my family and a few clients and friends. Anybody who would let me, I would use it. I've done it mostly virtually, but I have a really good in-person testimonial. I live in Florida, and February in Florida is like pollen season. So we're at the height of environmental allergies for a lot of people right now. So the first weekend I had my Healy, I went over to my mom's house and she was on almost day 3 of a horrible allergy attack. And she was at the point where she was like, oh my gosh, what if this is COVID? I feel terrible. My throat hurts, everything, like every symptom you could have from environmental allergies, she had it. So I'm like, let me just put this on you. I put the Healy, the wristbands on. I ran the allergies program, and it runs for about, I think, 50 minutes or so. And 20 minutes in, she had 0 symptoms left. She was like 100% free of the symptoms. So now I'm not saying we cured her allergies, because, this has been a lifelong issue she's dealt with, and she thought it was a miracle. So she bought a Healy after that. And now she can do it for herself. But the next day I went over to my mother-in-law's house. She was having the same issue. So I put the Healy on her and it worked the exact same way. All of her symptoms were gone in 15 or 20 minutes. So then she bought a Healy too. And so my kids also have allergies. My son, he's 6, but he won't let me put the wristbands on him. And the Healy is not actually cleared for use on children. I do use it on my kids. So I think that's something that everybody has to make the decision on whether they're going to do that or not. But my kids have pretty severe allergies. One of them has environmental allergies. The other one has food allergies and multiple chemical sensitivities. And so what I do with them is I don't put the wristbands on them or the electrodes. I just run the programs and put the Healy in their pocket, or when they're sleeping, I put it next to them. So it used to take me an hour in the middle of the night to get my son to stop sneezing and, snot everywhere and snoring and snorting and all of that. And so now when I put the Healy next to him in bed when he's asleep, and when he starts doing that, it takes about 15 minutes, but it clears out his sinuses, and then he can breathe with his mouth closed and all of that. So for us, it's been pretty life-changing, because I could actually get those symptoms to stop before, but it took a lot more work. It took a lot of supplements. It took a lot of work during the day to prevent that from happening at night. And now I feel like I just have this quick and easy tool that, of course, I paid for it, but now every time I use it, it doesn't cost me anything to use it. So another story this is probably my favorite one so far. Well, actually, they're all my favorites, but this one has to do with my kids, and it's going to save me a lot of money. So I probably like this story the best. My kids, I've been taking them to see a nutritional therapy practitioner, and she does muscle testing, and she tests different points on their body, different organs, and gives each one a rating. So like thymus, adrenals, liver, there's a bunch of them that she tests every time. So she tests, that's okay. So usually my son has made a lot of progress over time. Last summer, he was taking probably like 16 supplements a day. Luckily, both my kids can swallow pills. So this has been a good thing for us over time to help with their symptoms, but it's been a huge pain as well, because every 3 weeks we're going to this nutritional therapy practitioner. And then I'm buying all of these supplements, these herbal supplements and things, so that we can manage their symptoms. So we happened to go the week before I got my Healy, and my daughter was taking 6 different supplements 3 times a day. My son was down to 2 supplements twice a day at that point. And I decided at that point, and I'm not recommending that anybody else do this, but I was at a point of pretty extreme frustration, a little of feeling desperate, something that probably all moms feel at sometimes. And so I decided that we were going to stop taking the supplements altogether. I just stopped. Cold turkey, stopped. We're going to handle this a different way. But what I did was I programmed all of the supplements into the Healy. So I could still give the frequencies of the supplements to my kids 3 times a day for my daughter, 2 times a day for my son. And a month later, we went back to the nutritional therapy practitioner, and she did all of her muscle testing. Normally what she does is she tests each organ, and she gives it a rating on a scale up to 10. 10 means it's good. They don't need a supplement, then we can reduce supplements. My daughter's never had any organ at a 10 ever. She's 3. And my son does sometimes, but that's why he's down to 2 supplements. So when she tested each of them on all of those organ points, they both scored 10 on every single organ, and they hadn't taken a single supplement in an entire month. And I'm not saying that would happen for everybody. I see a lot of discussion about this kind of thing. And if you program in the supplement, does that mean you can quit taking it? And people talk about it with medications too. And as a professional, I would say never do anything like that without your doctor's support and recommendation and approval. As a professional and a mother, I kind of took that liberty myself. And also, we're talking about herbal supplements. We're not talking about like an EpiPen or something like that. So I was comfortable making that choice, and it played out really well for us, because now they're both down to 0 supplements a day, and the Healy is doing all the work for us. So that's probably my top testimonial.
Really, I love that. It's just so wild. It's just, yeah, this is incredible. And really, it's showing that the Healy is doing what it needs to do to bring balance to the body. And when you talk about testing all those different organ points, that's a testament to exactly that. I mean, I assume that when she's testing, it's really, are they balanced?
Right.
And wow, great. Thank you so much.
So I was actually introduced to Healy through Jen. I was probably at the lowest point in my life in quite some time. I struggled with chronic insomnia, and I've had chronic insomnia for about 4 years. At my point of desperation, I had went 3 full days without sleeping at all. So I put a cry out for help on the internet, and Jen responded, and she said, I cured my insomnia of 15 years within a week. And I was like, what? How? No, I don't believe that. I was really skeptical because how can you just cure insomnia in a week? Because I personally had tried absolutely everything, everything natural, non-natural, and nothing was helping me. But I was intrigued, and I have a very open mind. I've been in the natural health world for probably about 9 years. So I was intrigued. So I did a ton of research, and, my husband researched everything. He was skeptical, but he's like, you know what, we're desperate. Like, we should try it. So we ended up trying it, and I got the Healy, and just like Jen, I was sleeping within a week. This feels nothing short of a miracle, because I can't tell you guys how many things I tried, how many tears I cried, just to get this particular issue to go away. So that in itself is worth the Healy purchase. However, because my husband was so skeptical, he wanted to try the Healy as well and see what all the reviews and the testimonials were speaking so highly of. So now I have my husband hooked on the Healy, because he was at first skeptical, but now he's improved his sleep. He has increased energy, and both of us have been able to he's been able to get rid of probably 3 headaches just by using the Healy alone. And I personally have been able to get rid of a migraine, which was super cool. I always like to turn to pharmaceutical drugs as a very last resort. And sometimes I put myself through a lot of pain trying to push off those pharmaceutical drugs. And this time I didn't even have to turn to those, because the Healy saved the day. So very cool. And then one other testimonial is even probably more powerful too, because it actually happened long distance. Someone very close to me in my life struggles with anxiety. And so she'll occasionally reach out when she's having a panic attack, anxiety attack. And, we'll typically talk things over on the phone. So of course, she's been reaching out to me since I've had this Healy, and I immediately send her frequencies long distance, which I will definitely explain to you. But I've sent her frequencies long distance, and she says it's totally helping. Like, she can literally feel her body completely calm down. This last time that she reached out to me, she said, I feel my anxiety rearing up. And I was in the middle of doing stuff with the kids. I didn't have time to text her back, but I knew she needed the frequencies. So instead of texting her back, I just sent everything right away. And then I followed up with her in an hour, and I said, how are you feeling? I sent you stuff. And she said, I knew you sent me stuff. She said, because I could literally feel my body melt. The anxiety completely went away. And there was no doubt in my mind that you had already sent me things. And it was the exact time that I sent her the frequencies, which was just wild. I love it. And so cool at the same time, because I have this little device that I can now help my family, my distant family, the clients that I work with. So yeah, that is very cool.
I just want to add, because Alicia and I didn't know each other before.
Mm-mm.
We didn't know each other. And so I was a stranger to her, and we had connected because she had seen my sleep story in a group that we have in common. And I felt her pain with her sleep, because I know what that was like. And I didn't know it could help her, because we don't know, right? We don't know, but I felt that it could. And so, but she didn't know me. And, you know, I know I'm not pushy, you know, I don't want anyone to purchase anything if they're not, you know, fully like ready to do that. It's just not my style. But I just felt like it would work for her. And she asked me, oh, I don't know, 100 questions maybe, right?
Yeah. Me and Jen were messaging pretty much every day for 2 weeks because I was so unsure and I had a million questions.
Which I was the same. Like I was the same, exactly. So she thought she was kind of being whatever. And I was like, nope, you're doing exactly what I did. I'm not encouraging all of you to be as crazy as we were about it, but I'm just saying we were. Like I was skeptical, so I had to ask my questions. She was skeptical. She had to ask her questions. But it was such a joy for me when she texted me and said she was sleeping through the night. I mean, I was like, yes, because you don't know. You don't know. So anyway, that was such a gift to me that you got the gift of sleep. So
yeah, definitely. And kind of like Jen, like I've never done a multi-level marketing thing before ever. It just hasn't been my thing. I use a lot of the products and I think a lot of them are great, but I just never considered myself someone who would want to sell something. However, when you struggle with insomnia for 4 years straight, I made a promise. I said, if I found something that cured my insomnia, I would literally shout it from the mountaintops because it would definitely be a miracle. And so that's why I'm here today. That's why I'm such a believer in the Healy, because I mean, it literally changed my life. So Jen, I don't know if you want me to talk about the science now or if you want to see if Jamie's back on.
Yeah, let's see if Jamie can wants to. Yeah, hi, ready? Let's try again. We were so sad when you froze up.
And basically my story is that I've struggled with Lyme disease, chronic Lyme disease for 13 years. I have severe joint pain. I have traveling pain. I've gained over 100 pounds, mostly like from inflammation. I mean, and I have struggled with this disease for over a decade at this point. I've done everything. I've done antibiotics. I've done everything. And so one of the things that I found a little bit of relief from was through frequencies. But unfortunately, due to COVID and everything, I wasn't able to get treatments last year. And then we lost our practitioner that was here in this town. So, I said to myself, literally 3 weeks ago, I said, I wish there was a device that I could do myself, that I could do myself. And then I saw Jen's video, and she had done a video similar to like what we're doing here, where we're just talking about this little device, this little thing called the Healy and testimonials. And I was like, wait, what? And I was led to Jen. I saw a couple of her posts on the Emotion Code and Body Code page. And so I went to her Balance to Wellness page and was led to her that way. And so when I saw her video, I thought, you know what, can it really work? I don't know, And so I thought, you know what, there's a 2-week guarantee, right? Money back guarantee. Mine, I'll try it. I'm not going to sell it. I'll try it. Yeah, but I'm not going to sell it. So I ordered it. And so like I said, I'm a recent adoptee of the Healy. But for myself, what I've seen, like I've had to go slow with it because for those of you that are familiar with Lyme disease and autoimmune disease, there's this reaction called the Herx reaction. And you start herxing if you go too fast because you kill off too much too soon, and the toxins in your body builds up and it makes you actually sicker. And so I reached out to Jen like the 3rd day. I'm like, I feel horrible. And she's like, yeah, you're not supposed to go that fast.
So just so you know, I just want to make sure everyone knows, for anybody who buys a Healy, we have a group and you're invited to the group and we tell you how to do things and we tell you to start slow. And it's a lot of fun having this device, and it's very easy to get carried away with it. But you will hear me say time and time again that frequency is very powerful. and you need to start slow. And especially when you're dealing with chronic illness and sensitivities, it's even slower. And we have even ways of introducing the frequency that are kind of off-label ways of doing it to make it so that it's even slower. So I just wanted to make sure that I added that.
Yeah, yes. So I got a little bit ahead of myself and I was like, oh, I'll do the ones that they say to do, but I'm also in so much pain, I'm going to add pain in there. Well, like that was too much. And even I had like the off-label way of introducing it is how I've had to pull back. Now, in the meantime, just for myself, the things that I've noticed, even doing it off-label, slow, I have severe chronic neck pain that I've had for 8 years. And for the last few days, I finally, like, I can turn my neck and it doesn't hurt. And I'm like, I haven't even been working on that. My sciatic pain's gone down 60 to 75%. So I mean, I was getting to the point that it was shooting down my other leg and my leg was buckling underneath me. And like, that's like, I've felt relief at least 65, 75%. My plantar fasciitis, I can walk barefoot. Matter of fact, I ran back here barefoot so I could get back on the call. I thank you, puppy. I have thumb pain, in my, pain in my joints and my hands. And the last 2 days, nothing at all. It just blows my mind. I've been I wanted to see how it worked for other people too. Sorry, that's the dog breathing. That's not me.
It's all good. You're not panting?
I'm not panting. So I mentioned this to my mom that I was seeing, some relief. And my mom mentioned to me that she had neck pain and could I, run that magic device? And I said, Mom, it's not magic, it's quantum physics, it's different. And she's like, okay, well, whatever. So I ran some frequencies for her. And I, sent her a text. I said, how's it going? She goes, Jamie, my neck doesn't hurt. I was like, what? Like, I said, don't lie to me, seriously, because I need to know if I'm going to keep this or not. And she's like, no, I'm serious. And the next day she texted me and she says, Jamie, I can move my neck for the first time in longer than I can remember. She goes, I can't even remember how many years it's been.
Wow.
So I was blown away by that. I have a friend who I used it on. She was in the middle of migraines. She has chronic migraines, like sometimes 3-4 a week. And I've used it on her 3 times. Every single time that I've sent her frequencies for migraines and for pain, and whatever this blue app scan comes up, sorry, dog again. She, each time she's her migraines have gone away. And then she told me, what was it, last Wednesday? She said to me, she says, Jamie, today's the first day I've woke up without migraine pain. And she hasn't had a migraine since.
Unbelievable.
I've had a similar experience as Alicia with a friend who has anxiety issues. And I sent her, she's in the middle, dog paws in the face. She's in the middle of an anxiety attack. And she texts me, she says, Jamie, I'm having problems. Can you help me? And I sent her frequencies. And within 5 minutes, she's like, I'm like, well, what is it now? And before I'd said, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is it? She says a 9. I said, well, what is it now? And she says a 4. I said, that's not good enough. We're going to run one more. And I ran one more on her. And I said, what is it now? She goes, it's 0. She goes, I would be dealing with this for days. She goes, I don't understand what's going on. This is crazy. I've seen, people with, like, I've ran it for people with back issues. I've ran it for animals. My cat was sneezing a week before this came in. I ran it the day it came in. I ran it on the cat one time. She hasn't sneezed since. Like, I can't explain it. I don't know it's it blows my mind. I have a whole lot more that I could talk about, but obviously, for
Yeah,
sake of
thank you.
time.
And obviously we have to move on, but wow. I mean, I only knew sort of little texts that she shared with me, Jamie shared with me, but hearing it is like, wow. So thank you so much. Wow. That's just awesome. Alicia, you want to talk about the science, and then we'll kind of go through the device and just show you all a little bit what it looks like and what you get when you have a Healy.
Yeah, definitely. So like Jen said, everything is energy, okay? And there are many scientists in the world and scientific clinical studies that prove that everything is energy. So people are energy, cells are energy. The chair that you're sitting on right now is made of energy. And thoughts and emotions, they're energy as well. And then even if you look closely enough and you magnify it enough, everything is actually made of light. So when you understand that everything is made of this light and energy, then you can start to understand how the Healy actually works. And it works in two different ways, and I'm going to describe both of them. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the cell membrane voltage. And I'm going to share my screen right now.
Really multiple.
You know what, Jen? It's saying I can't. Oh, wait. Now it's good.
Yeah.
All right. So can you see this chart okay?
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to show you this chart because this green circle down here is representing a healthy cell. This is a healthy cell with a membrane voltage, okay? And then as you go up this chart, it's showing how the voltage is changing and then how the cell becomes less and less healthy. All right, so as the cell's voltage changes, then we start to experience more sick cells. This is where we get our aches and pain, our inflammation, our edema, and then it goes all the way up to cell death. All right, so the right or wrong amount of each potential is responsible for healthy or impaired cell metabolism, essentially. What the Healy does is it tries to keep our cells as healthy as possible with the frequencies. And I can stop sharing now. There we go. So the first way that the Healy works is through all the Healy programs are going to work through an app on your phone. There's two different apps, okay? One is called the Pink Dot app and one is called the Blue Dot app. And I'm first going to talk about the Pink Dot app. So the Pink Dot app works with a microcurrent, all right? You wear these wristbands and a very small current works on the cell membrane potential. It essentially helps your cells work more efficiently overall. And essentially healthy cells make healthy organs and healthy organs make healthy people. Those programs run anywhere from about 20 to 60 minutes. And that with those, again, you're wearing these wristbands the whole time, okay? The second way that the Healy works is with the Blue Dot app, and we call this the Resonance app. This one is a little bit harder to explain, but it doesn't use any wires, but it does connect through your phone with Bluetooth, okay? You would have the app and you would go into your app and you would have the Healy scan your body, okay? And then you can also have the Healy send your body frequencies. It tells you what frequencies would most optimize the frequency of your body. So everyone has an electromagnetic field around them within 3 feet. And that's what the Healy does, is it has a special sensor that senses that electromagnetic field and it determines your frequency and then your frequency needs. You could then send those frequencies to your electromagnetic field. I just want to look at my notes and make sure I explain everything. So after you send yourself the frequencies, they enter your electromagnetic field and your body assimilates them and uses them. Now that's a way you can use it on yourself. There's also a way you can use it long distance. this is based on the idea of quantum physics and that there is no such thing as time and space. They've actually showed this by doing different experiments on cells. They've taken apart something and separated its cells, and then they took some of the cells to a completely different state. What they found was that if they manipulated the cells in one petri dish, the same exact thing would happen to the cells in another state, which is just wild. But that's an example of quantum physics. So we have a lot of scientific support to back this up. We just don't always have the mainstream support. So if I were to simplify things really, really simple in just a couple sentences, telling you what the Healy does is it can analyze. So it tells you which specific frequencies in the body are causing bioenergetic imbalances. And then it can deliver. So then it delivers specific frequencies back to the body to bring the body back into bioenergetic balance. So I know this is a little bit more confusing. That's about as in-depth as I want to get tonight, but there is a ton of science out there pertaining to the Healy. So if you have more interest in knowing a little bit more about this, the Healy, please reach out to whoever invited you to this call. And there's lots of videos that are much, much longer than this Zoom call that can explain everything in a lot more detail.
Great. Thanks, Alicia.
Yeah, and Jen, fill in if there's anything that I missed.
Well, the only other thing that and it's more layman's terms, is just, you know, when people in what I do, I connect with people energetically across time and space. And I explain it really as, you know, we send texts to each other all the time, and we don't even question the fact, how am I getting this text? We just say it's technology, but we don't realize we're really tapping into the same technology when we use, well, it doesn't even have to be using the Healy, but the Healy is using those same ways of connecting, those same radio frequencies, electromagnetic waves. That's how it works. Like you turn a dial on a radio, at least in the olden days. Well, we still do that. And you get to a radio station. Well, how are we hearing that music, right? It's all radio waves and electromagnetic frequencies. Okay, I'm letting you, sorry, Alicia's switching to her phone. Okay. Does anybody have any questions at this point before we go in? And I'm going to show you, Karen. She says she's going to be back. I was going to scan her. I have her on my phone. I'm going to go through the Pink Dot app first. I'm just going to show you what it looks like, what programs are on the Healy, the different program pages that are on the Healy will be, it depends on what model you get. So we're going to go over that at the very end, what programs come with what model, but I'm going to show you, it's the top model. It's the one that I have and that really most people end up purchasing because it has the scanning capabilities that Alicia spoke about. Okay. So all right, you see here, I have a lot of things on my phone, but you see my Healy apps. There's the Blue Dot app and the Pink Dot app. Karen, are you there? No, all right, when she gets back. All right, the Pink Dot app, we're gonna go in first. This is, as Alicia spoke about, this is getting to you on a physical level, on a cellular level through these microcurrent bands. So we're gonna go in. So these are the different programs that come on the Healy. These are the different pages, okay? I'm gonna take you through the Pink app. We don't have time to go into a program to show you what they are, but each one of these is a different program and runs, as Alicia says, between 20 and I think that most is 70 minutes. Most of them are between 20 and 60 minutes. So this is the pain local stimulation page. Learning. The first page was the gold programs. There are 144,000 frequencies on the gold programs. They're the foundational frequencies of the Healy. Learning.
Hey, there's some food in the refrigerator. There's a salad you can take.
Fitness. Job sleep. So the sleep programs I know Alicia uses regularly. I do as well. But the job programs are amazing, like balancing nerves, positive thoughts, activation. And different ones may come up in your scan if you have the scanning ability. Mental balance, all these different programs, beauty and skin, bioenergetic harmony, 1 and 2. So this is where you have like, if you're getting a cold, or if you have some food sensitivities, or your immune system needs support. Those different, what Karen was talking about, her menstruation program, I assume this is one of the ones you ran. Bioenergetic 2, so GI, bacteria. Someone actually was just telling me the other day that tonsils tonsils came up a couple days in a row, and she's like, I don't know what's going on there, but and I say this, you don't always know what the reason is for something coming up in a scan. A lot of times you don't know. And then 2 days later, she got a sore throat, and she was working through the tonsils, and went away. But she thought that was quite interesting. And my son just yesterday was having some back problems, and I ran a scan, and pain came up, his #1 priority. I'm like, well, that makes sense. So meridians 1, meridians 2, allergy meridian I use. I'm not saying to ever substitute the Healy for your medications, but when I have had some allergy stuff, I have some food intolerances, I'll run the allergy meridian and not need to take my Zyrtec, which has been amazing because Zyrtec makes me really tired. Meridians 2, so hormone balance, liver, chakras. These are really popular for those, and if you don't meditate, I encourage you to consider starting. But running like a crown chakra program while you meditate, there's been some amazing reports about how people feel about that, or feel as a result of that. Protection programs like EMFs, deep cycle. So there's so many programs. This coherence program is it was a gift from Healy recently that actually both of these programs just showed up on our program pages, which was awesome. And I actually use the program page, the coherence program when I meditate, which has been also amazing. Okay, so that's the Pink Dot app with the microcurrent bands. The Blue Dot app is what I'm going to show you next. Get our disclaimer each time. All right, we only have time. I thought about maybe having one of you, we scan just someone here, but you actually program in certain information about the person you're scanning so that the device is actually picking up on their frequencies, their body, their energy body, their bioenergetic electromagnetic field. So I have Karen in my phone or in my Healy already set up. So I'm gonna run a scan on her and just show you what that looks like, just so you have a sense. You have a choice of doing a resonance analysis or an aura analysis. The Healy has the ability to assess your aura. There's all sorts of things. It's actually kind of a neat analysis. We're not going to do that today. In the aura, you also can customize frequency programs like encoding supplements or essential oils, affirmations. There's all sorts of different things that you can, everything has frequencies, so you can pretty much program anything. Never would recommend Healy over a medication. Never go off of medication without, obviously your doctor's input, or a supplement. But the Healy has this ability. We're not going to go over it today, though. All right, resonance analysis. So we're going to see what Karen most resonates with today of all the Healy programs. So you just continue the database selection. And these are all the programs that really mirror the Pink Dot app, but we're going to do this without the bands, and we're just going to send them to Karen. Obviously, she's not with me, so at a distance. And at the bottom, you see all Healy programs. So we're going to say all Healy programs. And just so you know, because this is kind of complicated feeling, I think, when you first hear about it, you first see it, it's very easy. So I don't want anyone to feel, we give you support, we teach you how to do it. There's onboarding video, we do Zoom calls. It's not like, I don't want anyone to feel like, oh my God, that seems complicated, because it really isn't. All right, we're gonna start this analysis. And what we do is, I am going to press on this thumbprint, setting the intention and asking the question, with what does Karen, ooh, somebody's trying to get in. With what does Karen resonate most with today? Which programs does Karen resonate most with today? So I'm pressing on that thumbprint. It's not reading my print. It's all about my intention. And my intention is to read Karen's energy, for the Healy to read Karen's energy and to see what comes up as her highest priorities today. So gold. So that's, you know, the foundational program of Healy. At 71% means the higher the percent, the more she needs it. So Karen, you need some gold love it, some gold loving. And I don't know if you're running gold programs. Sometimes what happens is the gold programs, they recommend that you run the first 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks of owning a Healy, really to introduce the frequencies to your body. A lot of people feel like they sort of go, okay, now I've done that, I want to do all these other programs. And they sometimes forget about the gold. The gold I incorporate quite regularly for me, and they come up in my scan. They're important. So I don't know if you do a lot of gold programs, but you're needing some of that. Were you going to say something?
Yes. So I don't know what else is on here, but I'm just laughing because earlier today, protection was on here. Earlier today, I did myself, and gold was like super high for me too. And it does not come up a lot for me. And so it was pure. So I'm, curious. I don't know if you're going to go into that.
Yeah.
And then learning has been coming up for me a ton lately too. So this is just like complete proof. Like every time stuff like this happens, it's like, she's right on. Like this has been coming up for me too. Like I know.
So these are the top 5 program pages that came up for Karen. Okay. So I get more excited to scan the bioenergetic balance just because I like to see what comes up from those programs, but it's not your highest priority. So what we do is we now drill down. Let's just see. So essentially the gold cycle is like the gold program page. So let's just see which gold programs are most resonating with you at this point. So we go back in, we go to the resonance analysis, we go to Karen, and we do the same thing, but this time we're gonna run the gold programs. I don't know if I went too fast there, but we're gonna, instead of doing all Healy programs, we're gonna run the gold cycle programs. So again, with what does Karen most resonate today? And you see how quickly this is. So release is 55%, energy 54, being 51, relax and care. Those are all such yummy programs. Okay, so I'm gonna send, are you good with my sending you some frequencies? Okay.
Please.
So you see where it says actions, and here you can actually print a PDF of it, or you click vibrate, setting the transition duration. We're just gonna do, there's ways to assess how long to send, but we're not gonna go into that right now. We're just gonna send for 17 seconds, okay? So and actually a lot can happen with 17 seconds worth of frequencies. So now we push start, and those frequencies are now going to Karen from my Healy, which I can take off. It doesn't matter, but I like to make it clear that it's not for me. Although I wouldn't mind these frequencies too. Okay. So I usually drill down on the top 2. So learning would be the next one I would do. I'm not going to do that today just in the interest of time. But what I want to do is something that we just got on our Healys. I don't know if it's permanent. Does anyone know if the digital nutrition is a permanent gift or a temporary gift? No one knows? Okay. So I hope it's a permanent gift. They have not said it's temporary. All of a sudden, this Healy Digital Nutrition Mixtures program showed up on our Healys. So what it does is it assesses the different vitamins and minerals that you need, what you're kind of deficient in, okay? And that can change every day, right? You may need a certain supplement today that you don't need tomorrow. So let's just see what Karen resonates most with. And the name of these sometimes are like what? But it's just a category, and then you get the vitamins that go in that category. And we have a whole list. I'm not going to pull it up right now, but we have a whole list. So all the vitamins that are being sent to you if that category comes up. So we're going to start analysis. Oh, hello. But that's you. That's me, not you. There you are. All right. So with what does Karen most resonate today? This one takes a little longer. I probably should have picked a shorter program. I just am kind of intrigued by this digital nutrition. Because again, everything's frequency. So we take our supplements, so we take a physical supplement, but at their core, they're actually all frequency. And I have seen some pretty amazing stories of where someone has tried to do this as an alternative to the supplements with success. Again, as long as you talk to your doctor. Okay, so whoa, blood. I'd be curious. I'll have to send you the list of what it's in our group. Do you know that it's in our group?
No.
It's in our group. Rest, pretty high too. Those are pretty high. Wounds, 57. Competition and skin. So are you good with my sending this?
Yeah, so like I'm on my menstrual cycle, like I mentioned. Like, does that have to do with blood?
Could be. Could be.
That's crazy.
Could be.
Okay. Send them.
And it could be that because of that, you're deficient in certain things. We should ask about. We should explore that. There's just
like maybe iron. And yeah, I'm super tired today because it's like day one. So rest is totally what I need.
Interesting. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's not awesome that you feel that way, but let's send this to you. All right. So we're going to do 17 seconds again. So the other, I want to mention that with the scanning app, the Blue Dot app, you also get things like Bach flowers, Australian bush flowers, very supportive of, people who have a lot of anxiety, like Alicia was sharing, and Jamie shared as well, to support, I call it sort of anti-anxiety programs. And also, let me just show you this. These other like amino acids, the Schussler salts, these don't come on the other models. And so I want to just make sure that people are aware of those. I use them all the time, most of the day, every day, for me, for my clients, for my family. So I just want to make people aware of that. So the next thing I want to just share, anyone have any questions before we move on to the different models and what comes on them? Yes.
I have to get going, unfortunately, but I just want to make one quick comment. I work with people in pain. I have my own issues. I'm always thinking I can figure it out because I help so many people. This thing has cleared pain like I've never been able to with any of my own stuff, which is all pretty good, as you know. So this and pain, I am so convinced it's unbelievable what it can do. Like, I feel like that was even just worth the money just for the pain part. So I just wanted to make sure I added that because I work with people in pain, and this has gotten away something that I've never been able to get away myself.
That's incredible. And one thing we didn't share is that the device has FDA clearance for certain pain conditions. We have the whole, statement of what that is. But it is actually, it's FDA cleared as a medical 2 device. And so that's one of the things that it actually has some FDA support on, although it has all these other programs as well. So thank you for sharing that. I am going to.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, I'm just going to show. See, is this going to get bigger? Yes. So there are 4 models that are available through Healy. There's a sale going on through April 30th. The models, the way that it's worked up until now is that you purchase a one-time purchase, and whatever comes on your model is yours for life, okay? And there were opportunities to upgrade as well for those who wanted to start with a lower model and then increase at some future time. Starting after this sale, I don't know exactly the start date, Healy is going to a subscription model. So this is the last opportunity to purchase an outright, sort of lifetime ownership of these programs before there is a subscription attached to it. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. During the sale, it's a free upgrade. So the $470 that you see here, this Healy Gold Edition, you would pay $470, and that would just come with the gold page and then one other program page. Now during the sale, you get automatically upgraded to the Healy Holistic Health Edition. And it comes with all of these additional pages. So the pain, the bioenergetic, it's actually called Harmony now, 1 and 2, mental balance, meridians 1 and 2, sleep and skin. If you purchase for the $942, which is normally the price of the Healy Holistic Health, you get the Healy Holistic Plus, and that adds the learning, the fitness, the job, the beauty, chakras and protection programs. Plus, they all come with the coherence and the bioenergetic support programs. If you purchase for the $1413, which is the normal price of the Healy Holistic Health Plus, you get upgraded to the Resonance. And the Resonance is the one that we've worked with today that has it has all of the Pink App programs and then also the scanning ability. Is there anything else to add to that? I don't think so. Any questions on that? I think I'm going to stop the share.
Hey, Jen, I just wanted to know where we find the nutrition program at.
Who was saying that?
Dawn.
So the nutrition program should be in the blue app at the top of all the programs. That's where it is on mine. I think that's where it is for all. If for some reason it's not showing up, there may be an update that needs to happen to get that there.
Where do we updates again? I know this is probably redundant, but
well, you know what? Can we talk offline about it? Okay. Yeah. Just because most people don't have it yet, but there are updates that regularly I update mine. The other thing I wanted to add with that is there are subscriptions that are available with the Healy now that don't come with the program. The digital nutrition actually there's a subscription that you can add the programs into the Pink Dot app. So you would wear the wristbands, you would pick a specific program and run that program, your highest priority nutrition program, and run it with the bands. And that's an additional charge. That doesn't come with the device. And my Healy off. Anyone have any additional questions? I want to see if I have any. Oh, Erin, are you still on? Oh, there you are. I'm like, where'd she go? Erin had wanted to share a testimonial as well, some result that she was getting with the Healy, and so I forgot to have her speak. I apologize.
No, that's okay. Hey, everyone. So Karen had come in. I do her hair. And then Tracy's on here, and she's my dear friend, and I do her hair too. But Tracy and I met through, from a gal that does at Absolute Health over in Scottsdale. And she does like biofeedback, neurofeedback. She's from Canada. Okay, so.
Are you talking about Sarah?
What's that?
Sarah Penton?
Yes.
Yeah. So she's one of my frequency successes in my life.
Of course.
It was through her frequency machine.
Okay. And so I met Sarah through my dad, who accidentally went to the wrong chiropractor like forever ago. And so I've known her for so long. So anyways, that's so funny. Okay. So Karen was in, I think it was like it was last Saturday. This has happened so fast. And we were chatting, and one of the things that when we started talking more and more, and she was kind of telling me her experience with it, I immediately think about, like the 5G and all the stuff going on and then clients being stressed out from everything. And I thought it would be a really cool thing, but I've worked with different meditative things, and I come from a holistic background. I do like holistic hair color and all that. And so just having come from all of that, I was skeptical of it, but I was still like super, in a way open to it, just to see, like, not attached to anything. Right. So we were chatting and I was like, we should hang out and talk and do that. And so I met with her at the park. And then what came up for me was sleep and then bacteria. And so sleep, I had a situation that was weighing on me that I couldn't let go of. And then bacteria, I have to wear those stupid masks like 10 hours a day at the salon, and so my face is sucked after a year. Like, it's completely, like, I do so much to take care of it, but just, it's inevitable, I think, at some point. So she ran that on me, and then we left the park, and then I was driving and I literally like pulled over to text her. And I was like, so everything is gone. Like, it was, I don't know, it was just like the weight was gone, the situation was gone. And then like my face stopped bothering me, like my skin. So I was like, oh my God, this thing is so cool. And I was like, I could totally do stuff with my clients, and I could offer this above and beyond like what I do. And I think with everything going on in the world, and we have like more 5G towers going up every day, and the frequencies thrown at us, and we have chemtrails, and we've got, just whatever. I feel like this is huge. And then also the telehealth, we're not going to the doctors, your ability to like take care of yourself and not rely on all that. And then if you want to be like super futuristic, there are those med beds that'll be coming out way down the road. So I think this is definitely like a precursor to that, Yeah. And I think it's really cool. So I was super excited about it. And then Tracy and I were talking, and so she's here now. And I just think there's something for everybody in it. And of all the like therapy that my kids and I've done over the years, gone through different things, this is just awesome because it just keeps giving, and it's a one-time thing, and you don't have to go in, and you can do it for yourself, and you don't have to rely on someone else to try to do it for you. So that's my story.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And I do want to say that there are some contraindications for the Healy. So like in terms of the the microcurrent bands, like pacemaker, epilepsy, there's certain conditions, and it hasn't been tested in kids. A lot of people are running it with kids, particularly in the Blue app. But even some with the bands, but that's sort of at your own, it's at your own, I'm not gonna say risk. I don't know that it's a risky thing, but it's just not something that's been approved.
Like at your own discretion.
At your own discretion. Thank you. When I'm like on the spot. All right. Anyone else have questions? Want to share anything? This doesn't have to be so formal. It's like all black screens, names, and mute buttons. Nothing? How about unmute? Anyone want to say anything? Okay, I think we're good. If you have an interest in purchasing a Healy, please go back to the person who invited you to this call. We provide a lot of support. We have, as I mentioned, a group that we would invite you to. You're not left to do this alone, and we make sure that you have the support that you need. In the first 30 days of owning a Healy, or not even of owning one, of registering with Healy, they actually have a promotion that if you sell 3 Healys, you can earn a free one. And so I like to let people know about this. It's like now we're talking the MLM, and it's just not my comfort zone, but it is a great opportunity to have another Healy. So I use my Healys a lot. So I want to let people know that as well. And I think that's it. I think we're good. All right.
Oh, I have a really quick question. What's the story on the person that invented it?
So, we didn't even talk about the fact that his name is Marcus Schmeicke, I think is the way it's pronounced. He's he's from Germany. He actually invented, his story is amazing. So he's a scientist, and he actually was also a monk for like 8 years, because he saw this whole consciousness, okay? That the world, it's not just about the science of it. The part of the science is actually this spirituality, consciousness. So he like kind of left his day job and went to go be a monk for 8 years. So he eventually invented what's called a time waiver machine. And the time waiver is similar to Dr. Sarah's machine and similar to other frequency machines that you see a practitioner for. And they're time waiver practitioners across the country, across the world, not the country, across the world, that you go and you see. His vision and his dream was to be able to create a personal device that people didn't have to rely on those time waiver practitioners to be, to get those frequencies. So he developed the time waiver machine. He then developed the Healy. There are time waiver practitioners that can create custom programs for the Healy and get you. So if you have something very specific, like Jamie had mentioned, Lyme disease, if you want a specific Lyme disease program that's custom for you, you can also reach out to a time waiver practitioner and order one. Most of them are $35, $40. They're not expensive. It's still $35, $40, but it's and most people don't probably have time waiver practitioner programs because you have so many programs with your Healy. But there are people who have struggled with some pretty significant identifiable things that they want something very specific. And you can do that. Does that answer your question about the inventor? Okay. Anyone else? Well, this has been really fun. I hope that you got a lot out of this. I hope that, let me see that. I just want to make sure the chat. Oh my goodness. Oh yes, Lisa. So Lisa was able to purchase her Healy using her flexible spending account. So make sure that if you have one, it could work for you. Obviously, you have to check with the company you work with. Okay. Yeah. Okay. From a medical spending account. Flexible spending. Got it pre-approved. Yeah. So call there and just see if it's something that they would approve. I think that's it. I hope you join us on our Healy journey. It's been really fun. Great group of, and hearing the stories, there's just nothing better. There's just nothing better. And that's it. You all take care.